Surf Monkey Coconut. So this is the polishing video of the EL-01. Again, when I got this knife was relatively dirty. I had to open it up and take out all the factory grime and grit that was holding back the knife from deploying smoothly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to also to make it even faster, I'm going to put on some Flitz polish onto all the contact points. And let me should have got this ready beforehand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the Flitz polish onto all the contact points so that it just has a slightly smoother action. This side of the knife actually has the Teflon washer. I'm just going to get the polish onto about the radius of that Teflon washer. I won't be able to polish this, obviously. But I will polish the phosphor bronze bushing here. And kind of, if you're used to working with Brasso or any other type of polish, is the exact same way. I'm just going to dab it on, let it dry, and then wipe it off with a cloth. And I'm going to get it all inside of this pivot hole area, since it's contacting this pivot. I'm also going to get it onto this pivot so that it has smooth, it rides smooth on this. Gonna need more polish. Okay, so what this is it's actually this like really micro fine abrasive material in a paste form that we're wiping on here. So we're going to let it dry, and then we're going to polish it off with a clean rag here. But because it's a micro grit type substance, we're going to want to make sure that we get all the powder off after, because obviously all that grit will also cause more friction if you don't clean it off properly. So you want to, and obviously we're going to douse it with some lubricant, which will clean it off as well. So that's the first pass. So that's kind of what the cloth looks like. And I'm probably going to do this about 3 or 4 times over. Didn't seem to get it very much more shiny, and I'm beginning to realize that I probably shouldn't go too far beyond just this pivot area, otherwise I'm going to have like one spot of the knife that's a little more polished and a little more shinier than the rest of the knife, unless I'm going to go through the effort of polish the entire knife. I'm going to have like spots that look a little more reflective than others, which wouldn't be good. So let's do it like that. And I guess you could use a Dremel buffing wheel, but I'm just going to use this with plain old elbow grease. That's for purposes of this video, so that if you don't have a Dremel, you could probably achieve the same effect. So, okay, so for this one it's going to be a little hard, so I'm going to stretch the cloth and I'm going to polish it this way. So what I'm doing is I'm stretching the cloth as tensely as I can to get it to avoid wrinkling. Not doing a good job of it. And I'm just going to use the table as the abrasive surface, and I'm just going to rub the washer on it. And that should give it a nice shine there. Okay, well, it's flipped over several times there. So, okay, yeah, so this is the, oh, I'm sorry, it wasn't in frame. So this is the polished side, which is pretty shiny and reflective. Not yet mirror polished yet. And this is the unpolished side, which is still dull. But, it's dull because it still has that polish paste on it as well. So, we're going to keep going. Do the other side. Okay, and I'm just going to keep doing this over and over. So this one does look nice and shiny now, nice and almost mirror-like. But I'm going to do this about 3 more times over. I haven't done this one yet. I guess it would be nice to shine this little ball bearing as well. Hopefully those micro abrasives don't get in the inside of the ball bearing. Hopefully, maybe I was blocking that. Sorry if I was blocking that. Okay, so round 2. And I didn't do this side yet either. Okay, and I didn't do the inside of the pivot yet either. I'm just going to use a Q-tip for this one. Be good to use a clean Q-tip. Oh, nice. I was shaving my skin here. Okay. A little bit over here. And again on this washer. Okay, so I'm just going to continue doing this over and over, so I'll show you the finished product in just a little bit. Alright, so I only did 2 polish passes, and I'm going to call it good. Because I can already feel a major difference between this part of the steel, which is, you see the grind lines going up and down this way. So it feels really, it's almost sticky, and it probably needs some lube on it anyway, or something. Yeah, but it still feels kind of, feels a little grippy, and the ballast actually helped a little. But I can feel that where the flitz part is, that feels like really nice and smooth. So I'm just going to call it, and look at how nice that phosphor bronze polished up. This one polished up like almost like a mirror. That's nice. This after 2 polish rounds. So let's go ahead and reassemble this. Again, let's hit everything with some lube, and this is just the Ballistol lube. This, everybody has such high praise for it on YouTube that I did test it out, and it is nice. A lot of people have a problem with the smell. Actually, I don't mind it. It smells like licorice to me. Licorice. Okay, so again, we want to get all those micro abrasives out of here. It's a matter of hitting it with the clean part of the cloth. And I was using this whole cloth, so I don't know which part is the clean part. Let's use a paper towel. Let's use a paper towel. Thank you very much. Okay, so this is the side the pivot goes on. And I did polish this up a little. It's, the grind lines are so deep on this that it has a satin finish. It's not gonna. If anything needs to go on the buffing wheel on the Dremel, it's this piece. But I'm just gonna dry fit everything. Okay, so I'm gonna do a really quick reassembly on this part. So I'm gonna take the Teflon washer. Or this is the opposite of the logo side, so that's where the phosphor bronze washer goes. I like to use a lightweight oil instead of the Ballistol around this area, because I noticed that the Ballistol tends to gum up. I don't know if that's a property of the mineral oil, and I know it's a mineral oil based type lubricant because it's food safe and stuff, which is fantastic for wiping down your blades and stuff. But I don't know if I put it on too thick, or if it's just time and age and is just kind of drying up over time. But I noticed that it does thicken up a little, and the viscosity in general is a little thick for pivot areas, the way I like it anyway. So Teflon side goes on the B, and you could kind of tell that it goes in that side because otherwise this Teflon washer would be in the way of the lockup. So just wanted to let you know that this Tough Glide stuff is pretty good. I like this precision tip because it seems to just kind of apply the lubricant where it's needed by capillary action. Okay, so I'm trying to fit everything in, and I think everything's in place now. Okay, so I'm going to put in the torque screws first. And one of the wonderful part about these modern knives is that they put in hardware where you're allowed to disassemble your knife instead of just gluing in pivots that are non-removable, or epoxied handles, or rivets that are just kind of molded into place. So if you have a modern knife like this, whether it's like Spyderco or any other type of high-end type knife, and again, this is a low cost, very high value knife. I still consider this low end, but only due to the cost. I think the actual quality of it is at least a mid to high end type quality, because again, look at the milled handles. Look at this. Look at the lockup bar. It's a liner lock, but look at how thick it is. That's ridiculously thick. Anyway, I'm not done assembling it. But I just want to say, don't be afraid to take apart your knife. All you need is the right set of screws. This is a torque screw set. If it looks like a star, it's a Torx. If it looks like a hexagon, you got to look really closely to determine that. If it's like a hexagon, then it's a hex drive screw or Allen key screw. But just get yourself a set of precision screws, and it's, you're all set to go. You just got to make sure that you're not stripping the screws. You just got to put consistent pressure down when you're first unscrewing it. Usually these are tight. Like these EL-01 knives, they seem to have some kind of thread lock on them, so it always makes it a little difficult to take them apart at first. Even Spyderco does that every so often. These standoffs posed a particular problem in the beginning, taking it apart, because you can see there's torque screws on either side. They're both thread locked, so when I was taking them apart, I noticed I was unscrewing it. The pivot bolt, or the standoff in the middle, was rotating with the screw, and this screw is also rotating, so everything was just spinning, in the scales. So what I did to overcome that was I have this old iPod silicone case. I just kind of saved it especially for this. I just kind of cut little pieces. Today I just kind of cut this little strip off, kind of inserted it into the handle here, got a pair of pliers, held the silicone around the standoff just to hold it in place, and silicone so I'm not damaging the standoff, because you're going to be able to see the scratches otherwise. And just kind of held it in place like that, and it holds everything so that you can take that screw out. The only screw I had a problem with was this top one, which is a stop bar. One of these are thread locked so well that I couldn't take it off, but I got the other side off, so I was able to take the knife apart. I wasn't able to remove the scale entirely, but I didn't need to. Okay, so this is the last screw, is a pivot. So here's my washer. I'm gonna stick that in place, and my new M3 screw that it just so happened to have. I don't know if you can just walk into Home Depot and get metric screws. I hope you can. If you can, this is the M3. I did have to cut it off with a Dremel to get it to the right length. But again, it's a M3 is an interesting screw for them to use, because the standard screwed flathead doesn't fit in it. I guess it is pushing it down, but it doesn't go all the way down. You kind of need a precision screwdriver to properly fit into it. Okay, let's just get tension where I think it should be. Okay, and let's test it out. Let's test out this new knife, and it's already too tight. I'm just going to leave it very loose. Okay? Sweet! Oh, that's much better. You can, nice detent click. No effort. Wow. Excellent. So that's the way to pimp your EL-01, mechanically anyway. And again, want to give credit where credit's due. This whole polishing video was from an idea from Jay Davis, but I'm very happy with this knife the way it is now. I actually got this suggestion to cut this pivot with a Dremel from Blade Forums, so thanks for that. Did a quick search. Seemed like the only way to do it. The other suggestions I saw was like putty epoxy and wrapping it around that shape. I just dropped it, and but I could foresee so much problems with that, and not only that, it'll take time for the epoxy to cure and all that stuff. So anyway, I don't mind the way that this one looks now. I think that looks kind of cool to have a flathead anyway. This side could be countersunk a little. It didn't Enlon didn't provide any countersinking for that side, but as is, it's nice. So it's a tip-up carry. It is pretty heavy. Let's see how much it weighs. But it's only heavy because of the liner. The liners are so thick in there, but it provides awesome lockup there. Look at how thick that liner is. Anyway, it's 6 ounces. So, Enlon 01B. And I hear that Enlon 08, is it? 06 or 08 is even better. It has a Hinderer type frame lock and lock stop on the other side. Obviously not titanium, but again, for the price, I think that one's a $30 knife. This one was $16.50 shipped. Yeah, you can't beat these. I'm going to really abuse this one in a little bit. So, all right, that's the Enlon 01. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you later.